And I'm here with the melodic house maestro, Mr. Klingande. Am I saying it right? I believe
Klingande.
I am.
Yeah, Klingande is the right pronunciation.
It's the right way to do
It's
it.
tricky, but there is no right way to say it, but I prefer Klingande because it's a Swedish word, and the Swedish word is Klingande, but I prefer to say Klingande.
I did want to ask about the origin. I believe you've got a few influences like the Swedish house mafia and Avicii and people like that. You've actually worked with Avicii, right?
What?
Or you've remixed for Avicii.
Yeah, I did a remix. I was also opening for one of his tour. I think it was in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But so the name was that just because of your inspirations? Is that how you came up with it?
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking for a weird name, and then because I'm really influenced by Swedish culture and music and stuff, I wanted a Swedish name. So I found this name, Klingande, which means when you take a glass and do the ting 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 on it, the sound is a Klingande.
Oh,
and I found it to be really cool. So like, okay, let's go with this name.
Why did you not think of like a French sounding name, or did you, and then you just didn't like anything?
It was on purpose. I wanted to stay a little bit anonymous at first. Like no one knew that I was Klingon. Like not even my friend. I didn't tell to anyone because I really wanted to have like a true opinion on my music. And when I show the songs, I would like, do you like this song? And like that, you have a really honest opinion. So at first, I just wanted to stay a little bit high, and just like a mystery, and then yeah,
it's a smart way to do it.
But yeah, it was fun to do it this way.
I mean, you've got 1 million fans on Facebook. How do you live your life? Is it not crazy? Because to me, sitting down with you, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because you've got over 1 million fans. Your streams are in the tens of millions.
Yeah.
Has that changed your life? Because you're just a normal guy, you know?
No, at all. Yeah. I'm exactly the same as I don't know. Like I'm just a few years older, but. No, it has been a crazy experience, to be honest. Like since I think, since 5 years now, or 6 years, and it has been really crazy to travel the world and stuff, and not having really time to sit down at home and just stopping everything. But I love it. I love touring, and I start music production in my bedroom, and then after 2 or 3 years of just learning on YouTube, I went to a school in London called Point Blank.
Oh yeah, I know Point Blank.
Yeah, I have been there for a year. It was a really cool way for me just to not having my parents on my back, being like, hey, what are you doing?
So you moved to London just to study?
Yeah, just for a year, because I was studying at the same time. I was studying in France, and then my parents, when I finished my studies, they told me, like, if you want to go for a year in London, like that, you're gonna figure out what you really want to do. So I took my chance. So I went there, and I was just doing music for a year, and it was really interesting. And when I came back, I made 2 months later, when I came back in France, I made my first song, which was Punga. Yeah, my first track ever. I never produced any track before. Like I was just experimenting some beat, but never finished anything because I was not sure about my sound and what I really wanted to do. Because I was really influenced by Avicii, Axwell, and all those guys, but the level was so high, and when I started, I was not at this level at all to produce this kind of music. So then I discovered the melodic house, which was less technical, but it was more about the vibe and the melody. And I felt in love with this genre. That's why I chose to make this music. And I think it was made for me.
So you produced Punga, and then do you remember how the process was to get it signed?
No, I totally agree with you when you say the timing. So you need to have the right song at the right moment. Like for example, if I release Jubel nowadays, I'm not sure it would be the same.
I think it would be, but
maybe no. We don't know.
See what you're saying.
But yeah, because the trend is, I was at the really beginning of this trend, and I think it's really important to be one of the pioneers of your genre if you want to stay long in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people respect the people who create something like a new genre. I just put the song on YouTube. My first song was Punga. I put it on YouTube, and I had an amazing feedback from people. But for me, it was just I was just happy with 1,000 views. So, and then my manager came to me. He's still my manager now, He was not a manager at all. He was just an organizer of the party in my hometown. But I had no one to work with, so he was the first one to ask, and we tried. And so 1 month after that, I made Jubel, and I showed him. He was like, I don't know. so we put the song.
What did he know?
He didn't know. Yeah, he was like, I don't know if it's gonna work, because for sure Punga was really a strong song, like in terms of energy. It's really energetic, and I think Jubel is more laid back song.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know, so we just put the song on SoundCloud just to see what's in free download. It was just to see, and it was growing super fast. And then all the label came to us, and they wanted to sign.
Oh, so they approached you?
I never approached any label. Like it was, because back in the day, SoundCloud was really a big thing. Like it was.
It was better. It used to be a lot better. Being happy with 1,000 views on YouTube and stuff like that. Then you make Jubel, and then everybody wants to sign it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're at the time of speaking, we're on 169 million views on YouTube. Like, just think about that for a minute. How many people must have listened to that track over and over and over again?
Yeah.
That's only one platform. We're not taking into consideration Spotify and SoundCloud and everything else. Like, wow. That's got to be
it has been insane.
It's got to be insane, right?
Yeah, and then it was also difficult also after that to know what kind of music I wanted to produce, and
that was what I was going to ask. Did you feel pressure to have to follow up such a record?
Yeah, because after Jubel, I made Riva, and it took me like a really long time to make it, because I didn't really know what to do, because I didn't want to be like just a sax guy doing music with sax. It was not what I wanted to. So I tried to switch to something else. So I tried harmonica, and then I tried the violin and some other. So I always try to add some live music in my song. And
hang on. So in Jubel, did you play the sax?
No. The thing, like in Jubel, I was not. It was not possible for me to record, and I had no mic at home, and no musician to come to play for me. So I just played with some loop and stuff. So cutting them to make sample packs that I found online, and I just play with them. And when you start, you don't have any money to invest in that. So the best way is to sample stuff. And
I still do it now. I mean, people watching, people listening are going to say exactly the same thing. They spend their whole days, weeks, months sourcing through sample packs and taking one snare out of 58 snares, and then they're creating their own little libraries. It's great. But how did the vocal come about? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of producers out there who are sitting on a lot of instrumental tracks, and they think that they've got some really good stuff, but they struggle to find that extra element, which is the top line. Which
that's difficult.
It's the hardest part in many respects, because it can make or break. That you can cross over into 169 million views, or you can stay in the melodic instrumental realm.
True. You can have an amazing song, and if you don't have the right voice for it, it's not an amazing song. So
did anyone give you a few versions first which you didn't go with and you didn't like?
For Jubel, the girl was the sister of a friend. So
oh wow.
He told me, my sister can sing. I was like, okay, let's try. So I just sent her the instrumental, and she was like singing through the whole song. But so at the end, I just get some parts of it, because in Jubel it's not really a song based on the vocal; it's more based on the saxophone. But I still think that the vocal makes a big difference at the end,
For sure. Do you have any favorite gigs that you've done so far? This it might tie in with that last question. It might be something that the first big stadium, or something that you've played, and you will always remember that feeling because it was the first time that you DJ'd more in front of more than 200 people, for example.
Yeah, I think which one was that? The first one.
Which one? There's so many.
I did a few stadium. I think the one that I still remember the most is it was last year at my hometown. So doing the stadium of your hometown is just the best feeling ever, because you play in front of all your friends and family, so you have a lot of pressure, but it's also the best feeling. And but if I have to talk about gigs that I really remember, of course it would be something like Tomorrowland, of course, or Ultra Music Festival also. I remember that this festival was really important also in my career because it was a good way for me to expose my music to the world because it's worldwide stream. So
such a reach from Tomorrowland.
You can. Didn't realize before how big this thing was, but like everyone is watching the stream and then talk about you and then want to see you. So it's really, really important. It's the same with Tomorrowland. The stream is really. There's a lot of followers.
So, what's your current DJ setup? You mentioned you work with a live performer. Do you still just use CDJs and a mixer? Do you use a laptop, Serato? What do you do?
No laptop, just CDJ and DJM. So, it's like a DJ set with musician. I would call it. It's not really. It's live because there is live music, but there is no computer doing.
No. Just a nice original way of doing it. That's what I like.
I think. And I think it's. I will not trust a computer, to be honest. Well,